Welcome to another video, and right now I want to talk about meditation. What is meditation? You know, this is a topic where it's like a big topic because there's many different kinds of meditation. But what is meditation generally? Generally speaking, what is it? Meditation is a type of spiritual practice. Spiritual practice that helps us to wake up to the true nature of our being. Okay? Wake up out of the ego state and go into, obviously the awake state where separation is no longer present. Okay? The experience of separation is no longer there. So what does that really entail? Most of the Eastern traditions sort of see this as like the kind of the main pathway to enlightenment. And why would that be? Because meditation ultimately, in its varying forms, ultimately is helping us to get in touch with our direct experience, right? It's getting us out of our thinking mind and into the body and into the five senses and into our direct experience. And it usually is used as a way of kind of a strategy for waking up, in that it allows us to let thoughts and feelings, perceptions, emotions, experiences, memories, whatever it is, it allows all of that to first of all be experienced, but also to be free enough to go, so to come and go. And I think most people, when they think about meditation, that's kind of what people think of meditation as. And ultimately what that's doing is it's allowing us to enter the state where we're really living as the enlightened state, where there isn't any resistance, and there's no, at least internally, there's no resistance, and there's no attachment to any kind of, or distraction to any kind of experience or thought or feeling, emotion, perception, memory, whatever. It's allowing everything equally to be experienced, but not held onto. Fully experienced, but not held onto, if that makes sense. Whether it's positive or negative experiences. And that's kind of the main thing, at least here, that I'm talking about with regard to meditation. There are other types of meditation, that uses mantras, that uses all kinds of mudras and bandhas and different kinds of poses and all that kind of stuff. That's largely found in practices like tantric yoga, kriya yoga, hatha yoga, etc., raja yoga. Those have to do with mainly the working with the Shakti, the Kundalini, working with energies of the body, working with the physical body, the five senses. It's like meditation with more, like I'm speaking of, but with more details, essentially. You add extra things into that, and there's a place for that, because the way that we embody what we realize, the awareness that we recognize, right? That stateless state, the here and now, the way that we embody it is through the body, right? So we have to address the body at some point. And that's one way of ultimately doing that, right? All of the unresolved emotions that we have are ultimately stored in the body. And so a lot of that stuff, if there's unconscious material in the nervous system and in the subtle body, sometimes they call this the samskaras in Sanskrit, that stuff needs to be addressed. And the yogas that work with the body are good at gradually transforming that stuff and helping it to become made conscious ultimately. Okay? And that's a valid approach to meditation. It's more progressive. But ultimately, that's not exactly what I'm speaking about in this video. I will get into that in other videos, probably, but this video is more just talking about just that general basic meditation of be here now. And that requires a sort of grounding through the physical body, right? And sometimes if we can't get grounded through the body, that's when we need those yogas to help us with that, to help open up the body some more. But really what it is it's recognizing what is our true nature, not by trying to point to it necessarily always, but just being it. And by being it, it's ultimately a state of internal allowing of what our experience is. So whatever experience it is that we're having, it has to be allowed to come and go. Otherwise, we can't be here now, right? Right? Because if whatever it is that we're experiencing, well, we're experiencing it now, aren't we? Whatever memory we're having, whatever thought we're having, whatever we're feeling in the body, whatever we're hearing, we're seeing, or feeling emotionally, whatever we're perceiving. That's it. That's all the experiencing, and that's all happening now. Right here, right now, we're all having experiences, aren't we? And those experiences are coming and going. So meditation is just a way of cooperating with that. It's a way of not resisting that and not getting attached to any part of that. Not getting attached to anything in our mind, not getting distracted by anything externally. Right? Not wallowing or getting stuck in various feelings, whether positive or negative. So ultimately, it's becoming very intimate with our experience here and now, seeing what it really is, difficult or easy or, positive or negative. It's like we allow the labels of that to just fall away. And we just turn toward it and we allow it to be fully experienced, felt, seen, and then allowed to also go. Right? If there's something happening in our experience now and we don't turn toward it, then we're not really fully experiencing what's our experience now, are we? Right? And we can't make conscious what's in our mind or what's in our heart or our emotions. We can't make conscious that stuff if it's not allowed to be, if we don't consciously look at it and not just look at it, but feel it. So sometimes meditation gets talked about as a witnessing, witnessing our thoughts, right? This is sort of like the pop culture definition of what meditation is, or mindfulness is anyway. But true meditation and real meditation, when it's really done the right way, that's not what it is. It's not just that. It's not confined to that. It's also allowing all of our emotions and all of our whole experiences in the body to be there. We need to be grounded in the body, and so it's really just, even most people are profoundly disconnected from their body, right? Most people are pretty profoundly, like they're not really aware of what's going on in their body. Just people who, they're not really aware of what's going on in their body because they're not really here and now in their body too. So here and now means being in your body too, not just witnessing from up here in your thoughts. And because, you know, you can't really witness sensations in the body or feelings, right? You can't really observe emotions. No. You feel emotions. It's more intimate than seeing, than just witnessing, right? So those things are that much closer, so it's important to include that too. And also perceptions, you know, like things that we're hearing, you know, the birds and anything that's happening around you. If you're in a quiet space or if you're outside, you know, I can hear a helicopter right now. But you include that, like everything that's happening is included in your experience. And you can kind of investigate what that is. You know, you can investigate it, and what you find in meditation is ultimately it starts turning into a type of self-investigation. A type of investigation where we're actually investigating, you know, is everything around me, you know, it's not just about our thoughts, right? It's not just about witnessing thoughts and feeling our feelings and emotions and letting them all come and go. That's part of it, but it's also, and this is the part that sometimes gets missed, is that, you know, we also have 5 senses. We can hear things, we can see things, we can smell things, we can touch things, and it's like good to find out about that. Like, where is that happening? You know, if I hear something in the distance, is that actually happening out there? Or is it happening within the heart of awareness of our being? Is it arising in awareness within? Not without, within. If we're seeing things, where does the seeing happen? Where does the seeing happen? You know, we kind of think that seeing happens out there because it's like the trees are out there and the birds are flying out there and the clouds up overhead are out there. But really, if we investigate this closely, we start to find that actually it's happening with a sense of absolute immediacy within us. The seeing itself is happening within awareness. And so it actually can't be separate. If you know, touch something, you know, if I touch something, you know, where is the experience of touch occurring? Most of us would say that I think that it would be hard to deny that feeling happens within us, right? Like the sensation of feeling something in your hand or touching something happens within. Even though we may see an object that appears external, the seeing also happens, you know, here and now. The touching all happens here and now. The feeling happens here and now. The hearing happens here and now. If we smell something, it happens here and now. So it's the recognition. Meditation is the recognition that everything is here and now. Everything that we're experiencing is here and now, and there's no resistance to it. So it's just living life in the present spontaneously, because, and as I've said in some other video, okay, everything is happening spontaneously because it's all synchronistically happening now. And so meditation is just going with the flow of that. And ultimately what happens is we become an expression of that undivided totality, a conscious expression of it anyway. We already are an expression of it, but we become a conscious expression of it. And the experience of that is one of undividedness. You know, and in the spiritual path, first, you know, we glimpse it usually. We get glimpses, or we understand what I'm saying. You know, you start getting a conceptual understanding of what it is, right? Eventually we have a glimpse. Eventually, if we're sincere and earnest and, you know, to some extent, if grace is bestowed upon us, right, we have an awakening that is abiding. So an awakening that doesn't come and go anymore as glimpses, that's permanent. And eventually we reach a state of liberation, which is a whole other thing I'm not going to get into in this video, but it's basically going deeper and deeper into that flow and allowing that which is hanging us up still to become conscious, so that, you know, we're not hiding in witnessing, we're not hiding in oneness, because it takes still a separate someone to be a witness. It takes a separate someone to be at one with everything, even if it's subtle. But ultimately, I would say that liberation is the permanent absorption in that undividedness, in the undivided spontaneity of synchronicity happening now in a very permanent way. And liberation is when all the hang-ups, or most of it anyway, you know, practically speaking, is mostly dissolved. Okay? So I hope that video was helpful. If you have a question, feel free to leave a comment. And if you like this video, you're welcome to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for joining me today.